Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Just give me 1 minute. Let me open the questions. Okay. Can you please refresh the questions, sir? Questions I'm not getting. Okay. In the meantime, I will take up a question which was, as I had told, that please go through the questions. So, Om Krishnam, are you there? Okay. So the question is there in the chat box. I can share the screen with the question. Yeah. So the question is that Miss Pearl is a classical singer. She wants to organize a classical singing function. Okay. She wants to organize a classical singing function, but she's a singer. So she booked an auditorium on the 10th of August. Okay. When was the booking date? It was on the 10th of August. She has booked it for a total amount of 20,000 rupees. She paid rupees 5,000 as advance on that day. The classical singing function was organized on 10th of October. The auditorium owner issued invoice to Miss Pearl on 20th November amounting to 20,000 rupees. Pearl made the balance payment of 15,000 on the 30th November. Determine the time of supply in this case. Okay. So, what do you think? Forget the answers, what have been given. You tell me about your answers. For what we have already read the time of supply. So, according to you, what is the time of supply in this case?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please tell.
Sir, previously, I guess that the answer would be option 4.
No, no, I'm not talking about option. According to you, tell me the concept. What is the time of supply?
S-
According to our understanding, what we had discussed in the previous session on time of supply. Okay. So in this, which criteria will you apply? Is it time of supply of goods or is it time of supply of services?
Sir, it is time of supply of service.
Correct. It is time of supply of services. So for in services, do we pay taxes even if we do not provide services?
No.
Why no? GST is payable on provision of service or receipt of advance, whichever is earlier.
Yes, sir. After 30
Correct.
days. If invoice is issued after 30 days.
No, no, even without that, for advance, there is no difference. Once you receive the amount in advance, the day when you receive the advance, that is the time of supply to the extent of the advance what you have received.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for advance, what happened? She booked it on 10th August and then she paid 5,000 at advance on that day, which means 5,000, even though service is not provided, but GST on provision of services, the time of supply on the advance will be the date of actual receipt. Okay. She has paid it on the 10th of August, 5,000 rupees. So to the extent of 5,000 rupees, the time of supply is 10th August.
Yes.
Okay. Understood?
Yes.
So time of supply for advance is the actual date of receipt of advance. Now the auditorium person has received it on the 10th of August. So 10th of August is the time of supply to the extent of 5,000 rupees. Now for the balance 15,000, because the total amount for the service was 20,000, 5,000 advance. We have already seen the time of supply is 10th of August. For the balance 15,000 rupees, it is when should the invoice be raised? As you had said for the first part that the invoice should be raised within 30 days of provision of service. When was
Yes,
the
sir.
service provided? It was provided on 10th of October. So he should have issued the invoice within 30 days, which is 9th of November. But he
Yes.
has issued the invoice late, which is on 25th November. So the time of supply will go back to the date of advance.
A date of advance for 5,000 and for provision of service 10 October.
Correct. So
Balance
for the
15.
if you are delayed the invoice, then the time of supply will go back to the date of provision of service. So the provision of service happened on 10th of October. So
Yes.
that will be the time of supply for 10,000, 15,000 rupees. Clear?
यस सर सर मैं भी यही कह रही थी.
Okay. Okay. So now we have understood the time of supply. Abhi, we will understand what is value of supply. Okay. We know when GST has to be paid. Once for a goods, it is always of invoice basis. On advance receipt for goods, we will not pay GST because there is a notification 66 which says that अगर आप advance receive करते हो किसी गुड्स देने के लिए तब आपको जीएसटी पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन सर्विस के केस में ऐसा नहीं है. सर्विस के केस में इफ यू आर रिसीविंग एडवांस, जब आप रिसीव करते हो एडवांस तब आपको जीएसटी पे करना है टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ एडवांस रिसीव्ड. ठीक है. So that is what we understood in time of supply. Today we'll understand what is the value of supply. Okay. When is a value important? We know that agar I sell something to my customer A for 50,000 rupees. Now, if I sell it to customer B, the same product for 55,000 rupees, there will be difference in value. So what should be the value for GST? Now, if you are related to me, then I will issue the invoice only for 30,000 rupees. If you are my customer, first customer, I will bill 50,000 rupees. Second customer, I have billed 55,000 rupees. So in this example, you have three values. What will be the value according to you for the purpose of GST? ₹50,000. invoice value. Okay. Price actually paid. Okay. Transaction value, very interesting. Value determined as per section 15 given on the invoice. Correct. So all your answers are correct, except one answer which said the value will be 50,000. Ayushri, the value will not be 50,000 in all the cases. So in case one, where I'm selling it to a third person, first value of 50,000, for that the value is 50,000. For the second person, when I'm charging him 55,000 rupees, since you're charging extra, doesn't mean that you should consider a value for GST as the value what you have sold at the lowest price. That is not the case. The value has to be 55,000 rupees itself and not 50,000 rupees, because both these customers are third party who are not related to you. So once they are not related, then the value will be the value what you charge to the customer, that is called as transaction value. So when there is a transaction between two people who are not related, then that will be the transaction value. Okay. Now in the third scenario where you are selling it to a related company, okay, who is related party, we have already seen the definition. We will also see the definition today. But in case of a transaction with a related party, then the invoice which you have charged for a lower price, that is a influence price, because normally you are charging at least 50,000 to a customer, but for a related party you have charged at 30,000 rupees. So 30,000 will not be the transaction value. So in case of a related party, we cannot take what is the invoice value. When it is an unrelated party, we can take the invoice value. Okay. So when there is a related party transaction, what should be the value is what we will discuss today. Okay. Okay. So what happens is GST, we know the levy comes from section 9, and GST is levied under section 9 on a value as may be determined. Now that value is coming from section 15 and the specified rules and at the specified rates. So section 15 is on the valuation, 9 is on scope or the levy of supply, levy of GST on a transaction of supply, and 9 says it shall be paid on the value as may be determined. That value as may be determined is determined under section 15. So levy provision has linkage to all other sections. So levy, once it is triggered, then we have to come to 15 for a valuation. But sir, we have said that on some products GST is not there. For that also should we come to 15? No, we should not come to 15 for that. We should come to 15 only if it is leviable under section 9, which means what? The 5 petroleum products and alcoholic liquor for human consumption. This is outside the scope of GST. It is not coming inside 9. So there we will not refer to the valuation at all. We will not get into the valuation because they are not subject to the levy of GST itself. तो अगर levy ही नहीं है तो फिर उसके लिए valuation देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. So wherever there is levy, only there we will have to go with valuation. Now, generally, since we have understood 15, now whether they can charge GST based on per unit or per value, which means a duty can be levied by two ways. One is ad valorem, which means that it is a tax on the value of supply, or it could be specific duty, which means that what if you have sold one unit, you have to pay 10% GST. If we say 10%, it means it is based on value. But if we say irrespective of your value, per machine, what you're selling, if you're a manufacturer of machinery, per machinery, you have to pay 1 lakh rupees as tax. That is an example of specific duty, wherein irrespective of the value what you supply at, duty is charged on the some quantum. Okay, that is called as specific duty levy. So duty under tax regime, under the tax policy, could be of two types. It could be either ad valorem or specific duty. When it is ad valorem, it is on a value, and when it is specific duty, it is on a quantity basis, not on the basis of value. Okay. Now, before getting into valuation, we know that when value has to apply, but we have to go through the important definitions. The first definition is agent. Who is an agent? Agent, the word is generally used, but many trade use the words differently. It could be a factor, broker, commission agent, arhita, arhatya, del credar agent, auctioneer, or mercantile agent. To make a acronym for this, to understand it is ABCDFM. Okay, A for Arathia, B for broker, C for commission agent, D for del credar, A also for auctioneer, and then F for factor, and M for mercantile agent. Okay, so this is a definition of agent. Now, anybody by this name, either they called as agent or by this name, who carries on the business of supplying of goods or services on behalf of another. So agent का काम ही वही है that he will do business for another. That is what this definition says, that any person by whatever name called who carries on the business of supply of goods and services on behalf of another is an agent. ठीक है? Simple. What is consideration? ये तो हमने बार बार पढ़ लिया, but again for clarity here, consideration means payment in money or ownership, or payment in money or otherwise for the supply. Deposit, we'll keep it separate. Any payment in money or otherwise for the supply by the recipient or any other person, excluding subsidy given by the central government and state government, is consideration. That is, anything I pay, okay, for the supply is consideration. Now, that could be payment in money or it could be a monetary value. Okay, it could be a monetary value for any act or forbearance for the supply. So it could be a payment in money or it could be non-money, but it has some monetary value. So when there is a monetary value, then it is a consideration. Now, consideration can be only in money. No, it can be in money and it can be in non-money also. So monetary value of any act or forbearance for the supply is consideration when it is paid by the recipient or any other person. So I'm selling it to you. It is not necessary that you have to pay me the consideration. You can tell somebody else to whom they owe you. That is, they have to pay you. You can tell, don't pay to me, pay to my vendor. So they will pay me directly and it's not necessary that you pay to me. Okay. So consideration is payment in money or otherwise for the supply by recipient or any other person, and it includes a monetary value of any act or forbearance for the supply. which can be paid by the recipient or any other person. And deposit is considered as payment when only in a case when the supplier applies such deposit as consideration for the said supply, and it excludes subsidy given by the central government or state government. This is the definition of consideration. There is a question saying, Bhumika, how factor is an agent? So what does a factor do? Similar to the service of an agent, a factor does it. So that's why it is not factory, it is factor. So factor is also one of the person who can do the transaction on another behalf. In few businesses, they call him as a factor. Few businesses, they call him as agent. Now, money. When we say consideration can be in money or not non-monetary, definition of money is also important. Definition of money is it is an Indian legal tender or a foreign currency or a check or a promissory note or a bill of exchange or letter of credit, a draft, a pay order, a traveler's check, or a money order, or a postal or electronic remittance, or any other instrument. So basically, whatever way you transact in money, it could be in Indian currency, it could be in foreign currency, maybe going to the bank, any kind of UPI, that's all part of money transfer. So any kind of money transfer you do, postal or electronic remittance, any other instrument which is recognized by RBI. So no, there is a new thing called as cryptocurrency. So is crypto, I buy services from you and pay you in crypto. So is it treated as money? No, because not recognized by RBI. It is not recognized by RBI. No, as government has not specified it. Correct. Pooja is saying yes. Everybody is saying no. So Pooja, you have to defend yourself. Why is cryptocurrency also money? Why do you think Pooja cryptocurrency is a money?
सर मुझे लगा कि ये इसके आगे करेंसी लिखा था तो आई थिंक ये मनी होगा इसलिए।
सो करेंसी भी क्या होता है? वॉट एवर करेंसी जो है, करेंसी भी किसी कंट्री का रिकग्निशन होना चाहिए। जैसे यूएस डॉलर्स है, उसका रिकग्नाइज कौन करेगा? यूएस गवर्नमेंट करेगी। करेक्ट। सो
ये
इवन इफ इट इज करेंसी, इट शुड बी रिकग्नाइज बाय सम अदर गवर्नमेंट। लेकिन क्रिप्टो करेंसी का कोई रिकग्निशन नहीं है। कोई कंट्री उसको अपना करेंसी नहीं कह सकते, बिकॉज किसी कंट्री ने उसको बनाया नहीं। जैसे हमारा इंडियन रुपीस में लिखा होता है, गवर्नर का सील होता है, राइट? सो इट इज एक्सेप्टेबल इन इंडिया। वैसे ही
ये
सभी करेंसी के ऊपर रहेगा। लेकिन क्रिप्टो इज ओनली डिजिटल करेंसी, नॉट इवन करेंसी, उसको करेंसी बोल ही नहीं सकते। इट इज सम वैल्यू विच इज असाइंड हाइपोथेटिकली। तो इसीलिए द क्रिप्टो करेंसी, इवन दो वी यूज इट वेरी ऑफनली, लेकिन उसको आप फॉरेन करेंसी में भी नहीं मान सकते हो। सो क्रिप्टो इज नॉट अ मनी।
ओके सर।
E-rupee issued by RBI is money? Yes, because it is a digital wallet and it is recognized by the RBI. So that is a valid part. digital money is recognizable, and that's why it is a transaction in money. It is money. Next aspect, what is a related person? We know this definition of related person means what will be treatment in that case? Yes, but US and some other country have their own crypto. But unless it is acceptable, right? They may be a US may doesn't have its own currency. The USDT, what is the crypto which we call, that is not a US currency, wherein it is just another form of a virtual digital asset, but it is not a currency of a particular country. So you cannot say that US also has its own currency. The treatment in that case is that it is equivalent to a barter transaction. You have sold something. Now, other person, instead of giving you money, has given you a crypto, or he's given you a kind of one of the cryptocurrencies. Now, once he gives that, if you are satisfied that you are received the consideration, then that person has given something for which you have valued equal to the goods what you have sold. So it is a supply. GST will be leviable on it. Instead of transaction in money, this will be a non-monetary transaction. That's all is what I'm saying. Okay. The value of crypto is very volatile. That's why it cannot be money. Still, it can be money. Never the mind. The value of US currency compared to India is volatile. Correct? It keeps changing. So volatility will not decide whether it is a money or no. Currencies also can be volatile, but it should be recognized by a government. This is not recognized. That's why it is not a money. Now, coming to definition of related person. A related person, we have already read this. Again, we're reading it here. Related persons are such persons who are officers or directors of one another. Why we are reading related persons? Because transaction value, if it is between unrelated person, then the transaction value is acceptable, right? It is acceptable whatever invoice you raise for. Say for one person you have raised 50,000, second person you have raised 55,000. Both of this is acceptable because both are independent person, not related person. Now, how do you know related or no? If they fall under this definition, then it is related. If it is outside this, then they are third party, right? For third party, for one you can charge 50, for another 55,000, possible, because it is depending on your negotiation skills and the customer's negotiation skills. That is why the price may change for a third party. But for related party, even if you charge a price equivalent to your customer, you still can't go with the invoice value. You have to go to the valuation rules. Now, who is a related person? Any person or officers or directors such persons who are officers or directors of one another business. Such persons are legally recognized partners in business, or such persons are employer and employee. Any person who directly or indirectly controls more than 25% of the outstanding voting shares, and one of them directly or indirectly controls the other. Both of them are directly controlled by another person. So any kind of direct, indirect control, all of this is called as related person. And then both of them are directly controlled by a third person. When third person controls you and me, right? When a third person controls two people, then these two people also become related because the ownership is same. They are being controlled by one person. Then entity A and entity B, which is being controlled by person X, then entity A and B becomes related persons. And then together they directly and indirectly control a third person. When they control a third person, two people are controlling a third person, then these two people will become related persons. And also when they are members of the same family, still they are related. And eighth one is one of them is a sole agent, sole distributor, or sole concessionaire. When you have appointed only one person to do your business, that person and you are definitely related. So when we have related party transactions, we have to be careful because the price will be determined, right? Price will be influenced. So we will have to be careful. Okay. So now when do we go to the valuation? We have three rules for valuation. Okay. Valuation section 15. Now 15 says there are three methods, three things which you have to see. One is transaction value. That is, you can consider the transaction value as the value of your supply. When you can consider it, when the price is actually paid or payable for the supply, that is called as transaction value. That is the price what you pay for buying something, that is the transaction value. Now, what are the conditions? The conditions are only two conditions, that it should not be a transaction between a related party. So it should not be a related party transaction. It should be a third party transaction, and price should be the sole consideration. If these two conditions are satisfied, that transaction value will be accepted when you do a transaction with any person who is not a related person, and price is the sole consideration. So two situations. One is when you are making a supply to a third party, you can supply it to a third party. So first condition, you're satisfying that it is not related, correct? First condition is it is not related. It is not a transaction with a related person. But second condition is important, that even with third person, your price should be the sole consideration for the supply. It should not be influenced price, or it should not be price plus something else, which means that if I am selling to you some goods, I should sell on the basis of the amount what you will pay me and nothing else. But if you are influencing me, saying that no, you supply at any value you want, but I will also supply to you at a higher price. Now, then what is happening? The price is not the sole consideration in this case. The price is becoming a influenced price that the other person will, when he supplies to me, he will charge some extra rate. Okay, so some influence is happening. When this is not the sole consideration, something else is there. Then in that case, price will not be considered as a sole consideration, which means that you still cannot use a transaction value. So in case of a transaction value, it should be a proper transaction value where you supply and be done with it. Okay. No other influence should happen over it. Got it? Once you establish that the transaction is between two unrelated persons and price is not influenced, go with section 15. Then you have to have some inclusions. Even though you go to transaction value, some transactions will be there wherein your adjustment is required. What are that? First is duties and taxes other than GST. If it is charged separately, that has to be added. Okay. So apart from GST, any other taxes you add, that will be included in the transaction value. Second is payment which is incurred by the recipient for which supplier is liable to pay. That is also to be added. I have sold you, fine. with you're not a related party, price is a sole consideration. But then when you make payment, okay, when the payment is made by the receiver, for which supplier has to pay, instead of me buying the packaging products, the customer has bought the packaging products and given to me. So my price will be less to that extent. So you should not do that. Whatever is the price you're charging, that will be saying that, okay, packaging material you have given, so I will reduce it. But in that case, GST will go less, right? The tax percentage of GST will be less. So that's why in such case, what you have to do, you will have to add this price to it. So you have to add the payment which is incurred by the recipient for which you have to pay. You had to do the job of packaging and giving it to him. But what happened? You did not do it and the customer gave the packaging materials. In that case, you will have to add that value which you were supposed to pay, but the customer has paid it. So even if customs paid are refundable, then also we are required to consider them. What customs paid? How is it refundable? Third thing, what you have to add is incidental expenses, which is charged by the supplier at the time of supply or before delivery. Whatever incidental charges we charge. One is you have to do a supply. Yes, you have agreed with the price, but that has to be packed. So you may charge packing charges, or that product has to be transported. Correct? Without transportation, you cannot deliver the goods. You will tell that we had agreed only at the sale value. Now transact, this is not inclusive of the transportation charges. I will transport it, but I will collect transportation charges from you. So in that case, the transportation charges will be treated as incidental expenses and that has to be added. Then any interest, late fees or any penalty. Okay. We know this term called as IPL, I for interest, P for penalty, L for late fees. Any IPL which is charged for delayed consideration, that is also had to be added to the value. And then what else to be added? Price link subsidy is also to be added other than the subsidy which is given by the government. So if any subsidy is being given to you by a private party, by a non-government entity, then it has to be included. But if that subsidy which is linked to the price is given by the government, then you don't have to add. Clear? What all we have to add? Then what all we have to deduct? We have to deduct the following things. Sole consideration, please explain. Yes. Sole consideration means price should be the only consideration. It should not be that I will sell you something and you will give me the half of the price and half of the balance will be through some material what you're supplying. Now the value of that material is how much you don't know. Neither the officer will know because the value, if you say it is less, then the GST also will be paid less. So what will be the value in case where the price is not the sole consideration, which means something else is coming. Now I have sold a laptop to you. The value of this, I have told 20,000 rupees, but you have to give me a printer also, right? So in this case, what is happening? Price is not the sole consideration. So in that case, I cannot consider the transaction value because other than price, there is something else which is flowing from you. So in such a situation, transaction value will not be the 20,000 rupees. Transaction value will be 20,000 rupees plus the value of the printer what you're supplying to me. Correct? Because I'm paying you, giving you a laptop, you are giving me 20,000 rupees plus a printer. So the sale value will be the price what I'm getting plus something else. But only 20,000 will not be the transaction value is what 15.1 is saying. Okay. Then 15.3 says that we have to make some deductions whenever we have a transaction value. What deductions we have to make? We have to make a deduction of any discount what we have given because sale in normal business, when we do any transaction, we give discount. Such discounts have to be reduced when if such discount is given before or at the time of supply, then I have to reduce. Then if I give any discount after supply, then should I deduct or no? I should deduct it if it is agreed before the time of supply. Before supplying, if I have agreed that, okay, I will give you some discount, then I have to reduce it. If I have not agreed, then it is not deductible. So if it is agreed before the time of supply, deducted if linked to the invoices and ITC reversed by the recipient. Again, the condition is you have to, if it is linked to the invoice and ITC is reversed by the recipient, then only it is deductible. And if you have not agreed, then you cannot deduct it. Clear? 15 to 15.3. We'll understand this in detail. A transaction is between two persons which are not related to each other and price is the sole consideration. Then the value of supply is the transaction value. That is price actually paid or payable. Okay. So in most of the situations, we'll go with this because we sell to third parties. We provide services to third parties. This apply for both goods and services. Unlike time of supply where we had difference, here there is no difference. Here it is one valuation rules, one transaction value for all types of supplies. That is, when the transaction is between two unrelated persons or between two persons who are not related to each other and price is the sole consideration, then value of supply is the transaction value, which is price actually paid or payable. Okay. Now, some inclusions were there in 15.2. What are those inclusions and what are the exclusions? The inclusions is all of this. Whatever is in blue is to be added and whatever is in red needs to be reduced. What is to be added? Any taxes, what is there? Other taxes. Then payment made to third parties by the customer. Any incidental expenses incurred. Any IPL, interest, late fees and penalty. Any price linked subsidies has to be added. And then pre-sales discount. Whatever is the discounts given before the time of sale has to be reduced. Post-sale discount, if it is agreed and the receiver agrees to reverse the ITC, only in that case you can give a post-sale linked invoice. Okay, then you can give a discount. If it is agreed at the time of supply and the recipient reverses the ITC, then only any discount given afterwards can be reduced. So let us take an example over here. Now I have agreed with you. Yes, I will explain. Receiver receives the ITC as well. I have sold goods to you worth rupees 100. I don't know why is that right or not coming. Fine. I have sold goods to you worth rupees 100. Or let me show a Word document, that will be better. Sale value of a good is rupees 100. Okay. On this, I have charged you GST at 18%. Correct. So my rate value of the goods, the rate applicable for my product is 18. So I've charged you 18 rupees. Total value, what I've collected is 118. Okay. Now, when I have collected from you 18 rupees, this is from the sale side. Now, we also know what is the input side, correct? Whatever I sell to you is input for you. So how much input you would have taken on this sale value? This is your purchase price is 100. Your input credit will be how much? 18 rupees, correct? Because whatever is charged by the supplier, you will claim the credit for that. Very true. So your input credit is 18. You have claimed the full credit. Now total value not required because input is what we are concerned with. Now when I make a sale, I have sold this to you. Now somebody was asking a question, sir, what do you mean by recipient has to reverse the ITC? Which means that what I've told that if you make a sale and you give a discount, okay, this is scenario one. Now we'll go to scenario two. Scenario two is where I made a sale. Now you have come to me and said, boss, I can't pay you so much, give me some discount. Okay, I agree with you and give you discount. How much do I give discount of? Say 10 rupees. Okay, so I have given you a discount of 10 rupees. In this case, what will be the GST? What will be the GST I will charge? ₹18 will charge. Everybody, few of them are saying 18 rupees, few are saying 16.2 because we pay 18 rupees GST on the transaction. Since it is not pre-decided, it will be 18. So again, read the slide on the valuation. I will share that. So what does the valuation on deductions of any discount which is given before or at the time of supply? This is straight away deductible. Any discount which you are giving before or at the time of supply. When will you raise the invoice? At the time of supply itself. So any deduction given at the time of supply, the point says that you have to deduct from the value. But any discount given after supply, then it should be agreed before time of supply. It should be agreed at the time of supply or before the supply, for not all discount, only those discount which is given after supply. Clear? Any discount given after supply will have to get reduced if it is agreed before, but normal discount which are giving at the time of supply, it is deductible from the value. So in this scenario, it is given at the time of supply, correct? So we are giving a sale, we're making a sale of 100 at the time of sale. The customer has asked me, give me discounts. I've given 10 rupees discount. So my transaction value is 100 minus 10, which is 90. This is my transaction value. So GST I will pay at 18% on 19 rupees. Okay, which is 16.8. Correct? 16.2. I will pay 18% on 90 rupees. Clear? It will not be 18% of 100, because if I give a discount, then I have to reduce the discount and charge GST. So the total value will be 90 plus 16.2 is 106.2. Got it? Now, this side, what is the input for him? What is the input side purchase value for the buyer? What is the purchase price for him? 90 rupees. Correct. Not 100, because 100 I agreed and gave you a discount. Correct. So I am selling you at 90 rupees. So your purchase price is 90 rupees. Very rightly said by everyone. And how much is my input tax credit? 16.2. Correct. Since what I will charge, that is the credit for you. But this discount has been agreed after sale. No, this is not after sale. That is what I am trying to say, that this is the discount given at the time of sale. Because had it been after sale, then I would have given him it at 100 and given him a discount afterwards. But at the time of sale itself, I have given him a discount. So this is a discount at the time of sale. So ITC for the customer is 16.2. Okay. Scenario 1, we understood normal scenario. Scenario 2 is sale with discount at the time of sale. Now we'll go to scenario 3. These are the questions which I have to answer later on. Scenario 3 is sale with discount after supply. So what I'm saying in scenario 3 is my sale value is 100 rupees. Discount is no discount here. I did not agree any discount, but I said that, okay, I will give you a discount later on. If you buy more goods from me, I will give you discount, because now I will not give you any discount. So in that case, what will happen? What will be the transaction value? ₹100. Correct. The transaction value will be 100 only, because now I've told you I'll give you a discount later on. That is what we have agreed at. But at the date of sale, I have not given you anything. So GST will be at 18 rupees only. Correct. So value is 118. How much credit will the customer claim? For him, the purchase price will be 100 itself, and the ITC credit will be 18 rupees. Correct. Now, we have agreed at the time of sale कि भैया आपको 10% discount मिलेगा. He has bought other products also, and now you have to give him a discount. So how will you give him a discount? This sales is happening through a sales invoice. आपके sales invoice में आपने 100 दिखा दिया है. तो अभी how will you give the discount to him? RCM. RCM कैसे होगा? कैशबैक नहीं, यू कांट गिव हिम कैशबैक, आपको तो डिस्काउंट देना है. नो कैशबैक, नो आरसीएम, नो आईटीसी रिवर्सल, बिकॉज आईटीसी तो आपने लिया ही नहीं है. देर इज अ डॉक्यूमेंट इन जीएसटी कॉल्ड एज क्रेडिट नोट. ओके, यू हैव टू इश्यू अ डॉक्यूमेंट कॉल्ड क्रेडिट नोट, क्योंकि 100 रुपीज तो आपका सेल वैल्यू हो गया, आपको अभी डिस्काउंट देना है उसको. सो फॉर दैट यू विल रेज अ क्रेडिट नोट. क्रेडिट नोट में क्या रहेगा, वैल्यू रहेगा अगेन, क्रेडिट नोट वैल्यू. क्रेडिट नोट वैल्यू विल बी 10 रुपीज, क्योंकि आपको डिस्काउंट देना है उसे 10 रुपए का. और इसके ऊपर जीएसटी भी रिवर्स करेंगे आप, क्योंकि फर्स्ट सेकेंड सिनारियो में जब हमने डिस्काउंट दिया था तब टैक्सेस भी कम हुआ था. सो सेकेंड सिनारियो में भी क्रेडिट नोट के ऊपर आप टैक्स कम करेंगे, एंड द नेट वैल्यू विल बी 11.8, विच मीन्स 100 का हो जाएगा नेट वैल्यू, 100 माइनस 10 90. सो क्रेडिट नोट ग्रॉस वैल्यू हो गया ये. अभी नेट वैल्यू समझ लीजिए इस ट्रांजैक्शन का कितना हुआ है, 100 माइनस 10 90, एंड टैक्सेस हो जाएगा 18 माइनस 1.8 16.2, एंड नेट वैल्यू विल बी 90 प्लस 16 106.2. दिस इज हाउ प्री सेल एंड पोस्ट सेल दोनों का इफेक्ट सेम रहेगा. ओके, कि आपने क्रेडिट नोट रेज किया है, और जब आप जीएसटी पे करोगे उस मंथ इस क्रेडिट नोट का वैल्यू कम कर दोगे. सो यू विल रिड्यूस द वैल्यू ऑफ द क्रेडिट नोट व्हाट यू आर इशूइंग. सो सेल्स इनवॉइस will add to your GST amount. Credit note will reduce your GST amount. ठीक है. So by effect of giving a credit note, you can reduce the taxes. Originally invoice को तो you cannot touch anything, but through credit note the value is getting reduced. ठीक है. That is point number 1. Now if you see, remember that slide, we said that any discount which is given after supply should be agreed at the time of supply. Yes, it is agreed. Apart from that, there is another condition which you have missed out. It says that any discount given after supply should be agreed before the time of supply, and it is deductible if it is linked to the invoice and ITC is reversed by the recipient. ठीक है, ITC should be reversed by the recipient. What is the use of credit note? क्रेडिट नोट का यही तो यूज है कि आपने कुछ तो सेल कर दिया है, लेकिन उसका डिस्काउंट देना है आपको, या उसको वैल्यू गलती से ज्यादा हो गया उसको कम देना है, देन यू विल रेज अ क्रेडिट नोट. तो ये क्रेडिट नोट देने से क्या हुआ, मेरा टैक्स जो 18 रुपीज बनता था अभी 16.2 बन गया है. विदाउट क्रेडिट नोट आई वुड नॉट हैव रिड्यूस्ड, क्योंकि कुछ और ऑप्शन ही नहीं है मेरे पास. सेल इनवॉइस तो मैंने दे दिया है, तो फिर उसको मैं कैसे कम कर सकता हूँ, उसको कुछ ऑल्टर नहीं कर सकता हूँ. तो फिर उस सेल को कम करने के लिए एक ही नतीजा है, वो है क्रेडिट नोट. तो क्रेडिट नोट देने पे क्या होगा, क्रेडिट उसका कम हो जाएगा, एंड आई हैव टू पे लेस टू द गवर्नमेंट. तो ये 10 में ऐड नहीं कर रहा हूं, आई एम रिड्यूसिंग, राइट. 10 माइनस 100 माइनस 10 कर रहा हूं. नाउ परचेजर साइड से देखिए उसने कितना लिया इनपुट. उसके लिए तो परचेज प्राइस 100 है और इनपुट पूरा 18 ले लिया है. करेक्ट. नाउ क्योंकि आई हैड रेज्ड द इनवॉइस फॉर 18 रुपीज, ही हैज क्लेम द क्रेडिट ऑफ 18 रुपीज. अब जब मैं क्रेडिट नोट रेज करूंगा, ओके, व्हेन आई रेज अ क्रेडिट नोट, तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, आई हैव गिवन हिम क्रेडिट ऑफ 18 रुपीज. अब क्रेडिट नोट दूंगा ना, तो उसको भी उसके टैक्सेस को रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली हाउ मच ही शुड गेट द बेनिफिट, he should get a benefit of only 16.2, लेकिन अभी उसने 18 लिया है. करेक्ट. सो उसको क्या करना पड़ेगा, he will have to do, on receiving the credit note, he will have to do ITC reversal. So he will do ITC reversal to what extent? he will have to do ITC reversal to the extent of 1.8. Correct. So he has to do ITC reversal of a value of 10 and GST of 1.8. So that is what the condition is saying, that he has to reverse the ITC, then your discount can be reduced from the sale value. Correct. So I have given him initial ITC of 18 rupees. Now I'm giving him a credit of 1.8. Now this 1.8 he will have to reduce. Once he reduces it, then I can pay net of taxes, which means I can claim the benefit of 1 rupee 80 paisa back. Clear? So ये है discount given and the treatment of it. Now, if you sold a scenario 5, we will go that you have sold at 100 rupees, you have not agreed at any discount. So उस case में what will happen? Can you give him a discount? You can give him a credit note, but how much taxes will you pay to the government? So third scenario आप देख लीजिए, where you have not agreed. In that case, it is not deductible. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? So scenario 3 is sale with discount after supply, but agreed before. Now we'll go to scenario number 4. Where sale with discount after supply, but not agreed before. तब आप क्या करोगे? सेल आपका तो 100 हो गया, करेक्ट. आईटीसी उसने 18 ले लिया है. नाउ जीएसटी यू विल पे, यू आर राइट. नाउ आफ्टर दिस you will give him a credit note, but this credit note is for discount and this discount is not agreed before. So what will be the net GST he will pay? In scenario 3 it was 18 minus 1.8. In this scenario what will be the net GST payable? एटीन. करेक्ट. तो ये जो क्रेडिट नोट दे रहे हो आप, इसका बेनिफिट उसको नहीं मिलेगा. ही विल नॉट रिवर्स एनी आईटीसी. करेक्ट. वो तो रिवर्स नहीं करेगा क्योंकि दिस इज अ डॉक्यूमेंट, बट इट इज नॉट अकॉर्डिंग टू द लॉ, बिकॉज लॉ बोलता है आपको क्रेडिट नोट तभी देना चाहिए तब व्हेन यू अग्री विद योर पार्टी. लेकिन इस केस में पार्टी के साथ आपने अग्री नहीं किया है, तो आपको क्रेडिट नोट रेज कर सकते हो आप, क्योंकि एक्चुअली रेज नहीं करना चाहिए, बट यू स्टिल सेइंग यू विल रेज अ क्रेडिट नोट, तो उसे कहते हैं कमर्शियल क्रेडिट नोट. उसे टैक्स क्रेडिट नोट नहीं कहेंगे. नाउ फॉर दिस कमर्शियल क्रेडिट नोट जीएसटी पेएबल रहेगा 18. इट विल नॉट गेट द डिडक्शन ऑफ 1 रुपी 80 पैसा. ठीक है. दैट इज हाउ द होल सिनारियो वर्क्स. ओके, तो इसका एक एक इंक्लूजन और एक एक एक्सक्लूजन हम पढ़ेंगे. फर्स्ट इज व्हाट ऑल हैज टू बी इंक्लूडेड. हमको पता है कि क्या क्या इंक्लूड करना है. एनी टैक्सेस, ड्यूटीज, सेस और फीस विच इज levied under any law for the time being in force. Yes, I will upload these scenarios also. Since I have prepared it, I will save it and share the scenarios also. any taxes, duties, cess, and fees and charges levied under any law for the time being in force. What is this? When you make a supply, say you're providing commercial rental services. Now, when you're charging rent, you will collect GST from your customer. Now, you have agreed with your tenant, who is a company, because on commercial properties only you pay GST. You have agreed that I will collect rent from you, and yearly I have to pay taxes for the property, that is called as municipal taxes. Now that municipal taxes also I will collect from you. So in the invoice, you have mentioned value of the rent, 1 lakh rupees rent, and municipal charges rupees, 15,000 rupees. So in that case, what is your transaction value? Rent plus municipal taxes, correct. So municipal taxes should be added for the transaction value, which is 1,15,000. Correct. So 1,15,000 is the transaction value. That is what it is saying, that any taxes other than GST, whatever you're collecting, has to be added to the transaction value. But there is a clarification that any TCS, when you sell something, the other person will deduct the TDS. Like in TCS is opposite. When you sell metal scrap, you have to collect taxes. So any scrap what you sell, on that you have to collect TCS. Now that TCS what you're collecting, will that be added? There is a clarification saying that TCS under income tax is not to be included, as it is an interim levy and not having the character of a tax. So you don't have to add it. So TCS under income tax is not to be added, because it is like we have said, TDS and TCS. TDS and TCS are not deductions. They are not treated as tax. They are treated as a interim levy, wherein they are collecting and depositing it, but it is not in the nature of tax. Okay. Then any amount. Second thing what we have to add is any amount that the supplier is liable to pay. Okay, in relation to such supply which has been incurred by the recipient of the supply and not included in the price actually paid or payable. That is, any amount which the supplier is liable to pay for purchasing his raw materials. He will purchase the raw materials and then bill it to his customer. Now, if any of those materials is bought by the recipient of the supply, then whatever he has incurred, that has to be added to the value. सीमेंट बॉट बाय रिसिपिएंट डायरेक्टली एंड गिवन टू द सप्लायर. अब मैं कंस्ट्रक्शन का अग्रीमेंट करता हूं that I will provide construction service to you for a 1 crore rupees value. The customer agreed. Now he is saying, I don't trust you कि तुम कहां से सीमेंट लेके आओगे, तो मैं सीमेंट लाके तुमको दूंगा, तुम उतना प्राइस रिड्यूस कर लो. डन, अग्रीड. तो 1 करोड़ की जगह आप मुझे सीमेंट लेके आके दीजिए, मैं 90 लाख रुपीस चार्ज करूंगा. तो 90 लाख चार्ज किया और 10 लाख रुपए का सीमेंट कस्टमर लाके दिया. लेकिन कस्टमर लाके दिया बट पेमेंट किसको करना था? मुझे ही करना था, लेकिन कस्टमर ने उसका भी पेमेंट कर दिया। तो फिर क्या होगा? और माई वैल्यू विल बी 1 crore और 90 lakhs। You will bill 90 lakhs, but the valuation says जब you are entering with a third party and you are having a transaction value, फिर ये 90 lakhs में आपको आपका liability जो था वो कस्टमर जो पे कर दिया उसे ऐड करना पड़ेगा। सो 90 lakhs प्लस 10 lakhs is what you will treat as a transaction value। तो ये सब एडजस्टमेंट इसीलिए है क्योंकि ये लाइव केसेस होते हैं। करेक्ट? दैट व्हेन यू provide some service, provide some supply, some consideration is paid by the receiver. So when the receiver pays it, your transaction value should not get reduced. It should add that value which the customer has paid on your behalf. ठीक है। Third is any incidental expenses. Somebody was asking, sir, please explain the incidental expenses. So I didn't get the second point. Can you explain again? Which second point, boss? On the cement example, cement we will already add that we have discussed. Now, what is the incidental expenses which gets added? Any kind of expenses which is incurred to supply the product, like how I told, the transportation charges, packaging charges, commission charges which you have to pay, all of that has to be added. So when there is any transaction which customer wants you to incur or you incur it, which is for the purpose of this supply, like freight charges, handling charges, inspection charges, saying that the customer said that you have to get an inspection report. I will get the inspection of the products, but you have to pay the charges. Yes, he's agreed. That also has to be added. So any inspection or certification charges, any installation charges and testing charges, any weighment charges, you have to do loading, designing, any of that has to be added up. Capital expenses for final supply. What is capital expenses for final supply? Cement example is very simple, done. That when you supply something and the customer pays your liability because you have to pay something instead of you, the customer has paid it, then that amount has to be added because to that extent, now say this cement example, now we'll give you another example that you have to supply something and you have to receive 1 lakh rupees from the customer. Now you have another liability of 10,000 rupees which is payable to somebody. So that is your liability. Now that liability customer has paid. So will you tell that, okay, since you have paid my liability, I will reduce your value? No, because if you show the full value, then you can knock off. Correct? He will pay you 90,000 rupees, 10,000, what he's paid to your other party, that will be a journal entry. If you talk in terms of accounting terms, your sale value should be the what value you have agreed with him. So in our case, say 1 lakh rupees was the value you have agreed. 90,000 he's paid you, 10,000 he's paid to a liability which you have to pay. Now, since he's paid the liability, you cannot reduce your value. Your value will have to be the transaction value. That is what is the price you have agreed at. So if you charge 90,000 rupees, this 10,000 rupees what he has paid on your behalf has to be added, is what point number 2 is saying. Correct. You will show full value but receive less amount. But there is something called as a journal entry, which you will offset the balance receivable from it with the payable what you have. That is possible. Interest or late fees are penalty for delayed payment. Now, let's go back to the scenarios. This we have explained, reversing the ITC and examples of incidental charges. So these questions are answered. Now we'll go to scenario number 5. Sale with late payment. Sale is made for 100 rupees. Transaction value is 100. Simple case, same like scenario A, scenario 1. GST. Okay, did I share the screen? So scenario 5 is sale value is 100 rupees. Transaction value is 100 rupees. GST is 18. And then purchase price is 100 for the customer. Input he's claimed. Now, you have agreed for a sale. The money has not come to you. The customer is saying that I will give you the amount after 1 month's time. Okay, 1 month's time you're given to him. Now still he's not paid. Your terms with him is that within 1 month, if you don't pay, then I will levy interest, late fees, and penalty. So I will levy all the three on you. But the customer is saying, no, just levy penalty on me. I will, don't pay, charge me interest and things. Okay. So under that IPL, three things which you can charge, you are charging the penalty. Now that penalty, how will you charge on this? Credit note can you charge? The question is, Shoaib, that it is here that this was the sale value. Now the customer is saying that, okay, levy penalty of 100 rupees. So you levy penalty of 5 rupees. So how will you levy this penalty? by notice, ठीक है, GST में यार, correct, penalty आप करोगे, but isn't it a value to be included, levy including GST added to transaction value? Correct. I will add it to transaction value. Abdan, very right. आयुश्री मेहता by notice, ठीक है, notice दोगे, agree भी हो गया है वो. Now for GST purposes, is it leviable to GST is my question. Any late fees, penalty are liable to GST, correct? 100 plus 5, 105 plus 18% leviable to GST. Correct, Arin, you're right. Lekin I've already raised an invoice of 100 rupees. Now, should I tear that invoice and give him a new invoice for 105 rupees? Issue debit note. Correct. So we understood credit note is for giving discounts or any reduction in value. We'll give him credit notes. Now for increase in value, we will have to pay through a credit note. So we will issue a debit note for increase in value. Debit note value will be 5 rupees. GST on that will be 90 paisa. Value will be 5.9. Net to GST payable, of course, will be 18.9. ITC, what he can claim will be again 100. He has already claimed on 100, 18 rupees is claimed. ITC, what he can claim will be 5 rupees. On 5, he can claim 90 paisa and claim it. Okay. So this is how increase in value of IPL, interest, late payment and fees, will be given to him. Only for 5 rupees with debit note. No, Ayushri. Even in case of debit note, GST on debit note will be 0.5. Why? When you give a debit note, the intention of giving debit note under GST is to charge the GST. You just can't give for 5 rupees because you have to charge GST. The valuation rule says so that you have to include in the valuation. Okay, so you have to include it in the valuation. That's why you're giving a debit note for 5 rupees plus GST. So any interest or late fees this is how you give the debit note. These charges are in addition to the value of supply, hence same rate of tax of the principal supply is applicable. What rate was applicable on the invoice, that same rate we will pay on this debit note also. Then subsidies directly linked to the price, we will add it. Now there could be two subsidies. One is blanket subsidy, one is price linked subsidy. Any subsidy which is given to support the price, saying if you are selling it at 100 rupees, now you don't sell at 100 rupees, I'll give you a subsidy of 10 rupees for each product. That is called as a price linked subsidy. These price linked subsidies are to be added or no, it has to be added. But so if you're selling something at 100 rupees, your actual value was 100. Somebody said that no, you sell at 90 rupees to them, I will give you 10 rupees. That is subsidy. Now, same like the cement case, when somebody is paying on behalf of the customer or paying your liability, here it is not your liability, it is customer is paying you 90 rupees, 10 rupees somebody else is paying. So your GST should be on 100 itself. But if this subsidy is given by the state government or central government, then it should not be included. So if you're giving a bag for a school for 500 rupees, government is saying, no, that school cannot pay you. You sell them for 300 rupees, 200 rupees, we will compensate you through a subsidy. So will you charge GST on 500 or 300? 300, correct. Because this subsidy is coming from the government. Government subsidy received by the government from the government is not to be charged with GST. This is a price support by the government. So only subsidy given by central government, state government, you will not add. Okay. So these were the inclusions. We'll take a break of 10 minutes and come with the exclusions then, so that all the inclusions now you know. Exclusions also we have defined, but I will tell you again. And then we'll go to the next aspects. Can we continue? The list price is net of subsidies. There's a question asked by Shoaib. If the list price is net of subsidies, what does it mean? Does it mean that addition and subtraction of subsidy already been done? When it says list price is net of subsidies, list price means the price which you are selling it to the customer. Correct? That is the list price. Now, if the list price is net of subsidies, which means subsidy is already been reduced. That is the meaning of list price net of subsidies. Okay. Now, additions we understood. Now, what are the reductions? Discounts before or at the time of supply. This also we have understood in scenario 1 and 2 that any discount before or at the time of supply, such discount has been duly recorded in the invoice issued in respect of such supply. That is discount on spot payment, discount on list price to distributors. These are the two scenarios where discounts are given before or at the time of supply. Then discounts given after the supply could be such discount is established in terms of an agreement. So there are two conditions to give exclusion for discounts which is given after the supply. The discount should be established through terms of an agreement either before or at the time of supply, and that should be specifically linked to the relevant invoices, and ITC on that discount is reversed by the recipient. This also we covered. So discounts we know. To give a different presentation for that, discounts can be given at the time of supply. Is it shown in the invoice? Yes. Then discounts are not to be included in the value of supply. Correct? Because it is shown in the invoice. For both scenarios, if it is at the supply or before the time of supply, if it is included in the invoice, then discounts are not to be included in the value of supply. If it is not shown in the invoice, then discounts are to be if it is not shown in the invoice, then discounts will become value and that will not get any reduction. For after the supply, there are three conditions. It should be in terms of an agreement that existed at the time of supply, plus it should be linked to the invoices, and proportionate ITC should be reversed. If all these three conditions are satisfied, then discounts are not included in the value of supply. If any of these conditions are not satisfied, then discount is not included in the value of supply. Discount is included in the value of supply, which means uska deduction nahi milega. Now, there is again a clarification on what are the types of discounts can be given. One is called a staggered discount, wherein the rate of discount increases as and when you increase the volume. Say if you purchase 100 quantities, no discount. If you purchase 150 quantities, 5% discount. If you purchase 200 quantities, 10% discount. So this is a staggered discount given. Now, rate of discount increases with the increase in the purchase value. Such discounts are to be excluded because that's given at the time of supply itself, right? Or at least it is agreed at the time of supply. So such staggered discount will get reduced. Then you have a different type of discount called as year-end discount. Now, staggered discount are given at the front itself that today if you buy this at this specific stepped quantity at a staggered quantity, you'll get more discount. So that's an example of a staggered discount. Then we have a year-end discount that is offered generally by the suppliers to the stockist, because when you have a customer will buy and go, but stockists are there who buy regularly from you, or dealers are there who buy regularly from you. The more they buy, you will give them more discount. The discount is passed by the supplier through credit note, and such discount are excluded, but should satisfy 15(3) conditions, what we have understood. Correct? So discounts given at the point of time through staggered discount, get discount given for year end, but which is agreed at the initial stage itself, saying that customer, your dealer will know that if more I purchase, I will get more discount. So it is known. So such year end discount satisfies the condition of post discount. So that is also deductible. Then you have secondary discounts. Those are discounts which are not known at the time of supply, or they are offered only after the supply is over, which means there is no agreement between them. They are called as secondary discount. They shall not be excluded from determining the value, like how we had discussed in scenario 4, that you're giving a discount, but you have not agreed at the time of supply. They are called as secondary discount. You want to give the price benefit, the customer will pay you less, but they are not satisfying the conditions of 15(3). So you will not reduce it from the sale value. You will pay the full taxes. And for to give the benefit, you will give an instrument called as commercial credit note. Clear with this? This is the simple confusion which the trade had, and for which a simple clarification is given by the department. Okay. Now there is another clarification which says that what happens in case of a no claim bonus. Like when you go, we have already discussed this in the supply chapter, whether it's a supply or no. Let me reiterate it, that you go and buy insurance. Is it a supply? Now, what is the no claim bonus? That first year you pay the insurance premium. Second year, if you do not have any kind of a transaction, okay, if you don't have any kind of a claim for the first year, not transaction, second year also you have to pay premium. For a vehicle insurance, you have to pay yearly premiums. Now, second year when you go, first year you did not claim anything, so insurance company will give you a discount. So is this a supply, was the question there. That time we said the agent or the person who's taking the insurance policy, he's not giving any service to the company, so it is not a supply. So insurance company is only providing the supply. On the no claim bonus, they don't have to pay any GST. Now then the question came, okay, we will not pay GST, but will it be considered as a deduction from the premium value? The insurance companies, the circular now says that the insurance companies make the disclosure that you will get a discount, right? At the giving of the instrument, it's at the giving of the time of policy itself, and it's not that it is decided later on. So at the time or issue of supply, before or at the time of supply, this it should be disclosed. The first condition is satisfied. It is therefore clarified that no claim bonus is permissible deduction. Now, any discount which is given later on, right, at the time of the invoice itself, it should be known. So it is a permissible deduction for the purpose of calculation. So any no claim bonus, what is being given, that has to be reduced, and on the net value only GST has to be paid. So GST will be paid on the net value, which is after reducing the no claim bonus. So after deduction of no claim bonus. So you have to deduct the no claim bonus and then pay the GST on the balance value. So when you will go to transaction value, where the value of supply of goods or services cannot be determined under subsection 1, then it shall be determined in such manner as may be prescribed. And when the government recommends that in specific cases you have to go to the valuation rules, then you will go to the valuation rules. Otherwise, whatever we have discussed till now, that is from 15.1, 15.2, 15.3, that will apply in all scenarios. When we cannot apply to these scenarios, when there is no relationship, that is, when will we go to the valuation rules? If none of these 15.1, 15.2, 15.3 is satisfied, that is, this is not a transaction between related parties, then we'll go to valuation rules. So when will we go to valuation rules? Supply is not covered under section 15.1. That is, the two control conditions are not satisfied. What are those two control conditions? Correct. Any more answers? Abhishek and Anmol, A. Both have given the correct answers. What about others? Correct. All A giving the correct answers when what are these two conditions? Even Swati, your answer also right. When they are not related person and price is the sole consideration, then you will use the conditions of 15.1. So if these two conditions are not satisfied, then you will go to the valuation rules. Then supply is covered, but the transaction is between related person. So it is a transaction value, but where price is the sole consideration, but this transaction is between related persons, then also we'll go to the valuation rules. Supply is covered under 15.1, but this mandatory adjustments, what we are saying, no, under 15.2 and 15.3, if that is not done, then also we'll go to the valuation rules. Now, going to the valuation rules, what will happen in terms of valuation rules? Then they will tell that, okay, the price will be decided by the valuation rules. Valuation rule says that whatever is the price for the similar or the same product, that has to be given. If you're not able to find the price for the similar product, then you will have to go to open market value. If then also you're not able to determine, then you will have to go to various other criterias. You have to check whether the recipient is able to claim the credit. Then whatever price you have charged, that can be claimed. So all of that will be discussed in the valuation rules. So are you ready to go to the valuation rules? Excellent. To go to the valuation rules, you have to clear your CA intermediate, because the valuation rules, luckily for you, are not there at the intermediate level. It is there at the final level. So whoever has said yes, so I'm confident that yes, you are ready to go to the valuation. It means you're ready to clear your exams in your January attempt. And I am hopeful that yes, with so much of confidence, what you have said, yes, you have understood this valuation rules and you have understood this GST, and you will clear your inter in the good yes, what you have said, and you will come to the finals as early as possible, and then we will read about this valuation rules in the finals. Okay. So the basic understanding what we have done under valuation will help you in the finals. So keep this in mind. In the finals, the basic valuation will not be taught again. We'll straight away go to the valuation rules. Okay. So now we have time to go to the MCQs. So we will go to the MCQs on the valuation rules, and there is a surprise MCQ for you to check whether our previous classes you have studied well or no. Okay. So let's go with the valuation MCQs on the valuation rules. Please read the questions and tell me what is your answer. Yes, how many answers I've got? All the answers. Okay, still confusing answers. When they are unrelated and price is the sole consideration, then the transaction value, correct? So what is the transaction value in this case? It is 1000 rupees. So the correct answer is C. Okay. People who have said B, are you clear or you need any explanation? Madam, 2000 rupees is what you sell in the ordinary course of business. But if you give a discount to somebody, right, and you sell at 1000 rupees, that itself is a transaction value because it should satisfy two conditions. It should be sold to an unrelated person and price should be the sole consideration. So in this case, you are selling it to an unrelated person and price is the sole consideration because there is no any other factor which is said here that price is. Everybody has given a correct answer for this. It is a staggered discount. Mr. Prabhas supplies goods to Ms. Anushka for a consideration of 2 lakh rupees with a credit period of 1 month. Answer is B, 2 lakh 2000 rupees. Correct. Ms. Bhavani sold furniture for a consideration of 1 lakh. What is the value of this supply? Correct. Value is 1 lakh rupees. In question number 3, correct. She's already issued a invoice for 2 lakh rupees for the 2000 rupees interest. Prabhas will have to issue a debit note. Correct. Only by debit note you can collect the additional consideration of 2000 rupees. Mr. A is a trader of school bag. A long question. Take your time and answer this. Answer is B. No subsidy given by any person other than central government has to be added. Therefore, the value is 300 rupees per bag. Okay. Six C, correct. Before or after, but it should be duly recorded. The answer is C. Seventh one. Seventh one. Answer is D. Correct. Question number 8. Yeah, meeting. Correct answer is 8B. Okay. A person who controls directly and indirectly more than 25% of the voting shares. Not A because it is less than 25%. And your third and fourth case, it is 50%. But the criteria is more than 25%. So correct answer is B. Okay. Be careful because less than sign also can give you a googly. So be careful. Very good, Om Krishnam, giving the fastest answers. Correct. Answer is B. Subsidies, which is directly linked to the price, is included in the value of supply. Value of supply is the transaction value when a transaction of supply is. There are simple questions again. Ten answer is people are saying mostly C. Yes. Made between unrelated persons. This everybody has given the answer. Yes, it is C. ये कहीं लीक हो गया है क्या? ओम कृष्णम, यू आर गिविंग आंसर्स बिफोर इवन आई एम स्पेलिंग इट आउट. तो कहीं लीक हो गया है क्या ये क्वेश्चंस? Correct. In all the above scenarios, discounts are excluded. Swati, read the question, then answer. You're answering it in opposite manner. Many are saying answer is A, few are saying B. What is the correct answer? This is a little googly question, so be careful with this. Yes, this is a googly question because the answer is not just one. The following discounts offered by the supplier allowed a reduction in the transaction value in both cases, that is staggered discount also and periodic year-round discounts. In both the scenarios, value will be reduced. For staggered discount, no conditions. For year-end discounts, there are conditions. But both the answers were correct. That's why this is a googly question because you have two answers for this. So all your answers, what you have given is wrong because you have given only one option. In this case, there are two options, both A and B. People have said C and D. C and D is not the answer because they are not allowed as a reductions. Correct? Staggered discount is not allowed and discounts given through commercial credit note is not allowed. Anmol, don't worry. This is just to relax your brain. In exams, you will not get such answers which are two answers are correct. Okay. It's only over here you're getting two correct answers, but in exams you'll have only one correct answer. Thirteen, not includable since it is not having the characteristic of tax. Correct. Answer is B. 14. Oh, okay. So my last PDF is already uploaded. That's why a few people are getting answers from there. The objective is not to get the correct answers. The objective is to make you learn. So if you are learning, that is more important than to give the answers. Even if you give wrong answer, but by your own attempt, that is more beneficial. Got it. It's on Google. Oh my God. These questions have become so popular that I've gone to Google. Never mind. You use your understanding and then give me the answer. Correct. So 14, lot of C and D, the answer is B because outward freight and charges will not be included in the value of supply of goods when the contract is on ex factory basis, where that is the buyer pays for the freight. So it is not my obligation, the buyer's obligation. So that will not be included. The question is which of these transactions, freight and transit will not be included. So only in case where the contract is on ex factory basis, there it will not be included. What is ex factory basis? Ex factory basis means you will supply the goods at your factory gate, and the customer will have to you use their own delivery modes. Okay. This is the last question on this chapter. Christine, answer is D, both A and B. Correct. Fine. Any questions on this? What are blanket subsidies? Subsidies which are not linked to the price of a product, but just given as a whole, saying that, okay, your costing is increasing. You need to set up a factory. For that, I will give you a subsidy. That is called as a blanket subsidy, where it is not linked to the price of the product. They are called as blanket subsidies. Okay. So are you prepared for the surprise MCQ, which I had said that we will discuss on the basis of our previous classes? So there are some practical questions wherein practical scenarios will be given to you and you have to answer them. So let us see. Of course, they are MCQ so that you get practice with MCQs. Let us see how you answer them. This questions till now, what we spoke was very theoretical. Now we'll go to the practical questions. A case scenario is given and you need to answer that. Abhishek, what is your question? Here, this is really confusing, right? So you're not getting a single answer from everyone. You're all giving different answers, which means that the place of supply you have forgotten. When Ram Limited of Maharashtra contracts with Sham Limited of Rajasthan to sell his old furniture for 1,50,000 rupees, goods were delivered to Sham Limited at Gujarat. Okay. Now, what will become the place of supply? What will be the place of supply? It will be Gujarat itself, right? Because in terms of goods, the place of supply for goods is the location where the goods are actually terminating. That is where they are ending the supply. Here, in this case, Ram Limited is in Maharashtra. He has agreed that he will deliver it to Sham Limited at their new branch office at Gujarat. So the place of supply will be Gujarat itself. Okay. Even if unregistered, the location is identified. Yes, if it is identified, that will become the place of supply. In many place questions return that value after considering the subsidy. Correct. So if it is after considering the subsidy, मतलब subsidy को consider करके कम किया गया है. That is the meaning of after considering the subsidy. Okay, this is not relevant. We have not read this. This is very interesting. Can it be considered bill to ship to? No, it cannot be considered as bill to ship to. If it is bill to ship to, they will have to specifically mention. They have not mentioned specifically, so it will not become bill to ship to. Supply from any person supplying to SEZ is a zero rated supply. But supply from one SEZ to another SEZ which are in the same state, what will be the supply? It will be treated as an interstate supply. Okay, supply from one SEZ to another SEZ, even though if they are in same state, it will be treated as a interstate supply. This is very interesting. Just don't give me answer, give me justification also for this answer. Actually, I should not have put the options, but still, okay, options have been put for you. Give me the justification for your answer. Don't just give me the options. Correct. Everybody is rightly recognized that this is a bill to ship to model. Correct. It's a case of section 10(1)(b), which is supply of goods or goods on the direction of a third person. Correct. So few people are saying the answer is B, because A will charge IGST to C. Correct. Because A is getting order from C and C is outside Pune, outside Goa. So A will charge to C IGST. Then is A incorrect? A will charge to B CGST and SGST. Is it wrong? Correct. That is wrong. But isn't C correct? Will not C of Pune charge IGST to B again? He will charge, right? So you have an option D which says both B and C then. So why isn't D an option? People who have just said B. We have had an option, two options are correct, and the fourth option says both the B and C. So why isn't option D the correct answer then? They've not asked what is the, you have to read the question, and what will A charge? Then A will charge IGS to C is the answer. But we are saying which of the following is true? Correct? So It is D, because both B and C are the correct statements. Read the question, answering fast, but with openness is important, because in the heist, because of the time pressure, you may answer the first correct answer, but see all the options which may be correct also. Fine. Next question. Fifth, many are saying B, few are saying C. There's a confusion. This is a case where a supply of goods is there without movement of goods, and the goods are already located at Noida. So the place of supply is Noida. So the place of supply will be the location where the goods are located. Sixth one again, few are saying B and few are saying C. Correct. Here 10(1)(d) has to be applied, and it is the location with which you have to assemble. The location to assemble is Kutch, so the place of supply is Kutch. Question number 7. Correct. This becomes easier. 7, the answer is B, Pune being the place of installation. Question number 8. Last question for the day. We have had enough of MCQs. Eight B, correct, because that is a place where the goods were taken on board. So the answer is B. Very nice. Abdan, why is it Delhi? Delhi is a wrong answer because it is heading towards Delhi. But just go and read section 10(1)(e), wherein in case of supply of goods on board a conveyance is the place from where those goods are taken on board. Okay. Okay. So that was all on the surprise MCQ. You have one more surprise MCQ in the coming classes. So be prepared. And we'll see you in the next class, wherein we'll discuss on input tax credit. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on Sunday. Yes, sir.